Hello. Today I'll be talking about whether or not it should be illegal for pharmaceutical companies to significantly raise the price of certain drugs. The 21st century has brought upon many life-saving medications that have expanded as well as increased the quality of life for millions. Recently, these drugs, which oftentimes have very few substitutes, are being exploited by corporate greed. The former CEO of Turning Pharmaceuticals raised the price of Daraprim from $13.50 to $750. His actions brought mainstream focus to this newfound issue. Although this is the most well-known example, many other companies have been seen operating in this manner, and under the current system they are able to do this within the law. Due to the massive availability these drugs have on public health, it should be illegal for pharmaceutical companies to raise the price above the average level of affordability consumers can pay. Currently, the price of pharmaceutical medication in America is much higher than any equally comparable country. This is due to corporations taking advantage of a broken healthcare system. These companies have almost no outside pressure on how to price their drugs because competition is often sparse and their drugs are not given an economic value by an outside source. Pharmaceutical companies choose to raise the price of rare drugs with smaller markets through controlled distribution. By using this method, they are able to limit the amount of drug available on the market while also raising the price. Outrageous markups in mainstream medicines have yet to be seen, and although these drugs are not as commonly needed, many still do need them and are no longer able to afford them. People are now starting to believe that these outrageous prices are exploiting people with illness, and many desire a solution to this problem. The overpricing of pharmaceutical medication takes place due to the capitalistic nature of our society. However, competition and capitalism can coexist with limited government intervention. For instance, when a company corners the market and begins to operate as a monopoly, it's the government's job to regulate on them in order to promote competition. The intervention needed here is a little different because certain medications are hard to make and the amount of these rare drugs needed by consumers is relatively low compared to other drugs. Therefore, only certain pharmaceutical companies have the resources and ability to produce them. The government needs to be involved in assessing the economic value of these drugs. Medicare purchases the greatest amount of pharmaceutical drugs. Therefore, Medicare should be involved in negotiating pharmaceutical drug prices with companies. From here, the government can place a price ceiling on pharmaceutical drugs, and a price ceiling is the maximum price a company can legally charge for a good. This method would lower prices because Medicare is not interested in profit margins coming from the sales of these drugs. Their goal would be to keep pharmaceutical companies honest and get the medication to a level that is affordable and more accessible. The need for medication to be more accessible to the masses is inarguable. However, there are those that would argue pharmaceutical companies price certain medicines steeply in order to be able to fund the development and research of new and improved drugs. If the price of these medications were to be lowered, it would hinder these new discoveries due to a lack of funds. This could not be further from the truth. Pharmaceutical companies have some of the highest profit margins of any market in our economy. These companies are spending billions of dollars annually paying off lawsuits to the Department of Justice for things like off-label marketing. From 2009 up until 2015, companies have spent $15.45 billion on settlements alone. Alongside this, it has been documented that 9 out of 10 pharmaceutical companies spend more capital on marketing and sales than research. These facts make it hard to believe that funding is the reason rare medications are now being risen to absurd prices. Prices have been raised to increase profit margins. Medications should be made and distributed with the intention of helping those in need. Profit margins should be a secondary concern to pharmaceutical companies. Modern day science has created many drugs that make certain illnesses and diseases that were once impairing or even deadly obsolete. If we repair this broken system, more people will be able to take advantage of these new discoveries. Therefore, the overpricing of pharmaceutical drugs should be illegal, and new pricing standards for medications should be put in place. Thank you.